Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Pharma Focus. I hope you guys are doing great. So this video is going to be in continuation to what we discussed previously, which is what is a follow-up and what is the purpose of follow-up. So in this particular video, I'll be discussing about the methods of follow-up. So before we dig in deeper into what is what are the methods of follow-up, so let's rebrush. So follow-up is conducted when an adverse event case report is missing any important information which is needed for any kind of case validation, assessment, or regulatory reporting. So there are multiple methods that can be used to obtain the additional details. However, most of the methods they depend on the type of the reporter, the urgency of the case, seriousness and nature of the case. So if I talk about the major follow-up methods which I have listed here, the very first one is the telephone follow-up, which is the most common method. And why? Because telephone calls, they are the fastest and they are the most direct method, and it helps you provide a real-time clarification. And because it is a spontaneous conversation, then the person can dig in deeper into the details, and it is suitable for serious and urgent cases. So what is done after a phone follow-up is that when the details they are confirmed and the discrepancies, if there are any, they are clarified. So all of the data that is during the call is documented carefully in a database. Then next up we have the email follow-up. So email follow-up is widely used when the person is not preferring the phone calls, or the phone contact is not possible, and to the reporter he or she prefers the written communication. So as it happens in the phone call, the email follow process, it involves any kind of company approved templates or concise questions that are written based on the situation. And there are some times where the follow-up questionnaires they are attached if in case it is required. And again, every information, the outgoing and the incoming mail, they are documented. Then next we have the follow-up letters or the postal mail. So we have this is a very less common method, because traditional letters, in this scenario we discuss about the traditional letters, they're used when phone or the email contact is not possible. So this is mostly in the cases where the reporter lives in a remote area and no email or phone information is available. So this includes the kind of formal letter or a follow-up questionnaire or return envelope. So in those scenarios, this is done. Then we have contacting the patients or the consumers with consent for clarification. So patients or consumers or HCP. So whenever the report comes, if we have a direct consent that we can contact the patient or the HCP, then we can directly contact them. So HCPs might include the physicians, the pharmacists, nurses, or any other that qualify as HCP. So next we have all right, so when we talk about the direct patient or consumer follow-up, then this is something where you can directly ask to the consumers regarding the clarification of any data which is required. And what typically is asked depends on what the case type is and what the missing information is. So we have another method which is internal database review, non-external follow-up method. So this is non-external because internally the follow-up is conducted. That is the company safety database that is used, for example the Argus or the RSG Global. So these are assessed internally without contacting the reporter in such cases. Then we have contacting the distributors, manufacturers, or any other departments for batch details. So this is generally in the cases of product quality information when it is missing. And in these scenarios, the batch number or the product quality information is taken by contacting the internal departments like quality assurance, manufacturing, product supply chain, etc. So what they do is they confirm the batch number, expiry, or the storage conditions, which helps in the identification of potential quality defect. And then what I've not mentioned here is the literature follow-up. So when a case it originates from published literature, I won't be discussing this in detail on this one. Maybe I'll be making a video later about this. So in these scenarios, you can contact the journal author or you can view the supplementary data for finding the missing information. Then there is some modern system which involves digital automated follow-up methods, and these may include the digital tools like web-based portals or chatbots or electronic data capture systems. So this is not very widely prevalent method though, but this is followed. And apart from that, as we talk about various regulatory authorities or competent authorities or any bodies that are regulating all this on the national and the international levels, they have their own set of rules, guidelines, and regulations. And apart from that, we do have the company guidelines on the behalf of company, how we need to conduct the follow-up and what are the parameters that are to be followed while conducting a follow-up. So let's talk about the last one, which is the targeted follow-up forms with pre-filled known information. So these are the kind of structured forms which are designed to collect any specific information, and these are primarily used in the cases where there is a pregnancy case or a medication error case, lack of efficacy case, or any kind of special situations like overdose, abuse, or misuse. So this is used. So as I mentioned in this pre-filled known information, this suggests that already known case details, which is the pre-filled, which is something that we got to know in the initial case and we have already filled it, and we are looking for the specific questions about the missing safety data. So that is what it means, targeted follow forms with pre-filled known information. And these are specialized, they are structured, and they collect specific missing information again. So as I mentioned again, that it is primarily for the cases pregnancy and special situations in any serious adverse event cases. So that's all for the methods of follow-up. There might be many more methods, but these are the most commonly used methods for conducting a follow-up. And then, as I mentioned the example for the pregnancy cases, so like we have pregnancy exposure cases in which we have maternal, paternal, neonatal follow-up. So what these maternal, paternal, and neonatal follow-up refers to is maternal follow-up is done for the mother, the paternal for the father, and neonatal is someone who is just born, and in that age group as a neonate the follow-ups are done. Then the other thing is the breastfeeding exposure. So this is during when the child is on the breastfeeding. In those scenarios also these targeted follow forms are there. And then we have again the medication errors and off-label use, overdose, misuse, abuse, etc. So yeah, that's all for the methods of follow-up. I hope you guys liked the video. So do give it a thumbs up, keep subscribing, keep following, and stay tuned. Thank you.